Hey, welcome to Action Dine VR. My name is Matt, and we are talking about Mech Games. This one is called, I think it's called Vox Machinae. Um, I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. I do like this game a lot. This one is a lot of fun. So let's talk about a few things here. Okay, so first off, they list this game as being $29.99 in the MetaQuest store. That one's a little high. That's on the higher end of some of the games. I think most of them tend to be around 20, 25. It's not too bad though, and I do think it's worth it. I do think it is a good game, and if you are into mechs or think it would be fun to drive a mech around, it is a good game, so it's totally worth that. What else they say is this one they gave a comfortable rating to, which I don't know if I necessarily agree. I think some throughout a lot of the game when you are in the cockpit, most of the time it is a comfortable time. But I think and if you see look on the cockpit there's like a little diagram of your mech. You see like a torso, two arms, and two legs. So your arms, your legs can get blasted off by another mech. And particularly if your leg gets blasted off, your mech topples to the ground. That's kind of for motion comfort that can be a bit much. So at times I would think it can be moderate. Your mech can jump, can fly. So again, there are times when it's moderate. So I don't know if I agree with the comfortable rating. But what I think what helps is because you're like the other mech games that you've got that visual anchor that you're not moving, the mech is, and that does help. So it would just be one of those things where you kind of have to just try it for yourself and see how you feel if you don't have your VR sea legs yet, and you're interested in trying this one out. Just be ready to close your eyes. But I don't think this one is like extremely intense. But it all the mech games have their moments, but overall they're not too bad. Now this one has single player, multiplayer, and cooperative mode. I love cooperative modes, like working with a buddy. Hey there, buddy. I've played the single player and played the multiplayer, and both of them are excellent. This one is designed for sitting and standing, believe it or not. I don't know why. I don't know. I would not want to play a mech game standing, but that's for someone else. That's fine. Yeah, just some things to consider. Like if your mech falls over, you're gonna be like rolling. You're gonna be rolling around. So just a little comfort warning on that. I don't. The mechs feel a little slow. They can fly, so just be aware of that. But there's not a lot of other like sudden movement that they make aside from when they like fall over. So what else can I show you here? So I've got some settings. So when you when you get to the settings screen, sometimes you get to these and you don't know which knobs you can fiddle with. So I just start flailing my hands around, and I probably end up activating something that messes the game up. But that's how you do it. I did find the menus in this one to be it looked cool. It's a neat, it looks neat, but I did get confused in there very easily. Maybe it's just me. Which is totally possible, but The menu alone, I think, took me a bit. See, I think I'm like, what am I doing? I was just kind of briefly just kind of scouting through it. But there is a lot in the settings section of this game that you can modify and, really tune this game to your liking. So, something with the controls or something like that. Even mapping specific weapons to a specific trigger and things like that. So you can set the eject knob height knob. That's not, what do you call that thing? A pull cord, I guess. Let's see what else we've got here. So this game has an excellent, entry into the mech hangar or bay, or you've got to have that, where you're at some panel and you look up and see your mech there. All these games have it, and they need it. If you didn't have that, no, I don't know if anyone would play it. Maybe they probably still would. But when you start a mission in the, I can't remember if it does this in multiplayer, but when you start a mission otherwise, there's always this isn't in multiplayer, this is definitely campaign only, and if you have motion comfort issues, I'm glad I found this one with floating, because you're just kind of in this vast space. There's nothing below you. It'd be like one of those like don't look down like I just did. So just be aware of that. It is kind of I think it's a loading screen, but there's a guy talking and telling you some story that I don't think I was really paying attention to, but I'm sure it's nice. I generally don't get too into the story and into a ton of games. I'm kind of more like, let's get to the action, buddy. So that's what I did. But when you get into each one, it has this kind of slow. Let me fast forward here. These doors, lights come on. These doors open. I'll fast forward a little more. And I feel like every time, this. Come on, can I just skip this part? I think that would be my only complaint. This game is great, but it's hard to just sit down and play quick. Between that and the other thing I've got about the game is the ship, and this is not in multiplayer. That you'd have to deal with this. This is pretty much just the campaign, but in between missions, you're like walking around in this ship and you're talking to crew members. And I thought this was cool. This was neat. It was neat to explore the ship and walk around, but I did find sometimes it was hard to figure out who am I supposed to talk to? I would end up talking to everyone, and you get sort of locked in a room until they're done talking. And I couldn't really figure out how to move away. I did recently find that you can skip this, and I think it's hitting the Y button, where you can just skip to the actual mission itself. So this part itself can be kind of tough if you're a little susceptible to motion comfort. But I do believe this game had controls for teleport movement. I opted in for you can see me freely walking around there. But it's interesting, this ship, you can sit down in all these seats, and I was trying to figure out what buttons do I hit to you hit the A button and it starts a conversation with the person, but then I was like, well, how do I trigger? I was doing some button mashing, trying to trigger the next mission on this one. But then, once you trigger the mission, oh, look at that. See, I'm walking all over this ship. you know, and it's all part of the story. They're fun characters and everything. Um, no complaints about that, but I do like being able to just, yeah, there we go. Continue. Yeah, see, there we go. That's kind of like, you know, you got the mission screen there. It's just weird because sometimes you go over there and there's no mission screen and it's like, okay, let's go. But yeah, so that's it. And where this one stands in relation to World of Mechs and Iron Rebellion, I really do like all three for their own reasons. I do like this one being able to like shoot the arms and legs off the other mechs. The multiplayer in this is good. The cockpit realism is pretty good. There's a good selection of mechs. I was getting sort of stuck. Some of the single player campaign stuff I think was maybe a little too difficult for me. But I think that's just kind of getting the mastering of the flying around, which I think is a little tricky. The controls on this one are, I think, equally as weird as any of the others. They all just kind of have their own approach to how you're controlling the thing. But as far as like if it's a comparison of like which one has the more impressive like sense of like immersion and everything, I still think that's going to go to Iron Rebellion just because of its cool like boot up sequence that you do in the cockpit. I think that's just so well done. But this one is still very impressive. The game looks. Can actually let that play. The game looks great. I'm not gonna really comment on like any of the story because I was always trying to skip through the story and just get to. I wanted to get to the driving a mech around part and just get to playing it. So is this one my favorite mech game? No, I don't think so. I do like this one a lot. I think I would play it more if it was easier to just jump in quick. But I am anxious to. I would love to do some of the multiplayer of this with some friends. I think that would be an absolute blast. So that's that. Hope you got something out of this. Talking about the different mech games. So till next time, we'll see you later. Bye.